Hi folks, Buffin here with your Antifa News Briefa for February 23rd, 2022. This one is about media bias. There's media bias in America. We have two types of media, mainstream media and right-wing media. The mainstream media is centrist. We don't have a leftist media, a leftist news source. I'm a leftist, Antifa, anti-fascist news, but this is on YouTube. We don't have any real, big news sources that are leftist. Democracy Now! Is the closest we have. Democracy Now! With Amy Goodman. But all of our mainstream news is centrist, and then we have right-wing news. Now, Fox is both mainstream and right-wing. It's like the exception, but the stand between. But there's all this right-wing news, radio, right-wing news outlets of various types. And they're all fascist. They all spread lies. They spread the lies of Putin. So being a compromise or unbiased between the truth, which the truth is leftist, things like global warming is real and caused by human activity. Things like we have a racist system we need to change. Things like that are true are reported or if they were reported, they would be leftist. Reporting lies that keep those terrible things in place is right-wing. And so being centrist or unbiased is trying to balance those or be between those two. So you really only need leftist news because leftist news will tell you the truth. The problem with being unbiased or balancing is you're balancing the truth with lies. You're allowing the discussion of lies and wrong, evil propaganda within your news format. And it's not news, it's lies. It's lies and propaganda. So some examples of that from NPR recently. NPR, National Public Radio, and CPR, Colorado Public Radio. The National Public Radio ran the story yesterday, 2/22/22, about the women's soccer team winning their lawsuit against women's soccer, or women's soccer players winning their lawsuit against women's soccer for not paying them fairly, or U.S. soccer for not paying them fairly as they pay the men. And the first time they did this report, maybe just because they had more time, it's the feel-good story at the end of the news report that, we're all on the side of women who won equal pay in this instance. And it's, maybe helpful for people to win equal pay in other instances. So it's a landmark and important decision. And they played a clip of one of the women who had won the suit and, seemed to be on the side of the people winning the suit against sexism, which we should be. We all are basically on the side of the women's soccer players and women in general getting equal pay. Who's against that? Well, Republicans. Well, the right. There's this whole system that's against that and a few people that represent that system. But most people are on the side of women doing this. But later in the day, when they did the same report, they said women's soccer, gave you the very basics of it, said they won their lawsuit. The lawsuit had been ongoing for 6 years. They didn't do any celebration. They didn't do any, showing that, hey, we're all on the side of the women. We all support this decision. We're all glad this decision came down this way. And that's showing bias to do that. And to report it the second way, just to say it went on for 6 years and not showing any bias, is being more balanced. Maybe because some right-wing people called in and said, you seem like you're supporting the women. You have to stop doing that. The newscaster sounded a little disappointed, is my point for noticing it when she reported it the second time, the shorter version without celebrating the decision. So the other thing that I heard on Colorado Public Radio yesterday was about $800,000 settlement that the city of Denver is paying to protesters, people who were involved in the George Floyd protest, the Black Lives Matter protests against police brutality, and the police brutalized them, and they sued the city, and I think 2 people got awarded a total of $800,000 taxpayers' money. But the way the Colorado Public Radio newscaster reported that story, he said after reporting it that these 2 people claimed to have been hurt by the police. No, they just were proven in court to have been hurt by the police. That was just proven in court, and they were awarded $800,000 for it. It's not a claim at this point. The police hurt a lot of people at those protests. These are only 2 of the people who managed to sue and get their claim settled, and it mentioned some other payouts have been made. But the police basically owe a lot more money from people who haven't claimed it yet. But it's not a claim at this point. It's been proven true in court. And that type of bias of just, let's, show some deference to the police, or let's show, let's just favor the police's side of the story, is wrong because the police are lying. The right wing are lying. you don't need to compromise with lies. Unbiased means half lies. And you just need some good leftist news. So thanks for tuning in to the Antifa News Briefa. Love you forever. Share the story. And I actually love you because I'm a leftist.